Well, hello. Here's our project for today. Last year, we have this line of alpheas across here. They've been in here just about 19, 20 years, and they're aging out and rotting from the bottom, and the really tall ones need to be brought down a little bit. But last year, I found this wonderful Cleveland pear sapling here that had rooted among the roots on this alfea. And these last two were getting pretty ragged and trying to sprout new growth from the bottom, but it was going to be uneven and look crappy. And so I'm just going to go ahead and take out these two for now. And I will probably extend my line of grasses along this fence here. And right now I'm kind of on the fence as to keeping this pear tree right here. It's maybe 10 inches from the fence, so it would have room to grow and still clear the fence. You know, it might still have room to grow if someday I decide to run a privacy fence all along this to screen out all the mess of several of the neighbors. And also, I really enjoyed planting my raised bed garden over here that I made last year. Let me come on over. I have 4 tomatoes. I don't eat them, but I love to grow them. Here we have a big boy beefsteak tomato. And here we have Cherokee purple. I don't know as if it's yes, it is an heirloom tomato. It's an heirloom tomato, it's purple, they're supposed to be really good. And flanking on other side, I have patio tomatoes. Like those small 1.5, 2-inch tomatoes that you find in a box, Campari tomatoes. So I got one there, and I've got one here. And it even has flowers started already. So I got those planted. I have got marigolds along the sides and across the back. But also across the back I have Russian mammoth sunflower seeds and some burgundy sunflower seeds and another color of sunflower seeds that I can't think of off my head. So they will be from this corner of the tomato cages to the back. And on each corner there and there, I have planted assorted pumpkins. Let me see, over on this corner I have a warty green pumpkin from one I'd bought a couple of years ago for fall and kept the seeds. Over here is a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and I'm gonna have those vines going over and wending their way through these alpheas here, so they'll have room to spread out. And on that corner, let's see, I have some gourds planted on either side, and they can grow up that spindly alfea if they want. And right here. And then on this corner I have, it's a variegated pumpkin. It's a stripy orange and creamy colored. And they're cheese-shaped pumpkin, you know, they're maybe 6 inches across. Across the front here, I have a bunch of Jack B. Littles planted. And in that corner, I have sugar baby pie pumpkins. So, and here's my my potatoes. This is the Yukon Gold, and they're getting blossoms. When they get blossoms, that means they're starting to form tubers. And these two, as they grow, I need to get more soil in there. But I so much enjoyed planting this bed and having my hands in some decent soil. I mean, you could just move it with your hands without even using a trowel. So I have been thinking that I may be taking out also these two Altheas right here. I'd have to move 1, 2, 3 peonies and a couple of daylilies out of there, and some they're blooming right now. The geez, I'm brain dead now. Alliums. So I've got alliums that are blooming right now. They'll be very pretty. It's bright sun, so they probably don't show up too well. But anyway, I'm seriously considering going ahead and taking out these two at the very least, and maybe that Althea. And I can go over a couple of feet and put in another 12-foot raised bed on the flat part here. And that way I could plant radishes or whatever I might want to stick in there, you know, salad greens or whatever. Just more good soil to plant in. And it would really make the area look different. There's a ton of those mutant alliums in here that have just sprouted all over hell. Like I said the other day, every year after good rain I'll pull out 200-300 of them and chuck them out, but you know, there's little tiny bulbs in there. So I'd cover those buggers up with cardboard and just smother them out and build up this bed the way I did. Grass clippings on the cardboard, then a bunch of ground up leaves and some peat on top of that, and then the next spring I would put in the bagged soil and have myself another raised bed garden. So project for today is to cut this one out and down into the ground without touching the roots of this lovely, it's gotta be at least 6.5 going on 7 foot tall here, this lovely pear tree, ornamental pear. And take that ugly stump out too. So I have 2 stumps I want to try to cut out today. You know, I'll just kind of cut down into the ground and take it out in chunks. Oops, there's some more alliums right there. So anyway, Lily's trying to eat my ornamental grass. Sunny is messing around. Get away from there. And Jessie is, I don't know if you can see her, she's up by the house in the cool grass in the shade. She chills a lot these days. She's 7 years old, so she's kind of slowing down, which is okay, you know, nothing wrong with chilling out a little bit. Anyway, grass needs to be mowed already, and it was just mowed on Monday, so it's that time of year, warm air and rainfall, so things are starting to shape up. You can't see it, but the weeds are also coming up. I sprayed dandelions yesterday with Roundup, try to get rid of a bunch of those, so I'm just kind of working on this mess of a garden this year. Especially now that I have that back corner over there cleaned up and looking nice. So, that's it for today. Time to go out wood. Bye-bye.